Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to create an energy blade wheel of death and destruction, and it is inspired by this creation by Charlie that I looked at on the dev stream looking at the new blocks. And with this creation, it can roll up into a ball. You can activate these things and then you can kind of roll, but the only issue with this creation is it doesn't seem to have the ability to control itself while it is rolling. But you can roll forwards and backwards. But if we unroll here, we can see that we got gyros and stuff, so we can like steer like this and steer like this. But the problem is when we enter into ball mode, those controls rotate with the ball, which makes them not work. So my goal is to engineer a type of ball where, despite the outside of the ball rolling, there's going to be a stationary set of controls that can control the ball as it rolls. So those controls have to be locked to a certain plane so that left and right stays left and right. I don't think I'm going to have it be a foldable ball like this. I think it's just going to be ball, but it just looks so cool with these energy weapons, and I just wanted more of that. All right, so I think I'm just going to go for the smallest seat to save the most space. That's definitely smaller than that. Is it the same size as that technically? I guess it's technically the same size. You know, I might use this seat then. I think it might be better to have it be vertical anyway. Okay, so one thing we want for sure is we need it to stay upright. So a gyro stabilizer is going to be useful for that. Let's put it on 8 for now. And then to steer, we're going to need essentially a yaw servo for steering. This is probably going to have to be pretty powerful as well. And I kind of feel like that's almost everything we want for the controls, unless what we also want maybe is to lean into steering. So that might also, it might be good to have a gyro here too. That will help us lean. It'll fight against the gyro stabilizer and won't flip us over, but should provide a good lean. Now that we've gotten the easy part over, now we have the hard part, making an independent spinning wheel around us. Oh, now that I realize what's going to be going on here, we also are going to need gyro stabilizers in this direction as well, because if we were to try to spin the wheel and we don't have a gyro force keeping this upright in the front and back direction, we're just gonna flip ourselves around inside of the wheel, where the wheel isn't gonna roll. These gyro stabilizers will keep the center steady in both axes, which will cause the wheel to spin instead of us to spin. All right, so now we need rotation to come from here. So the question is the best way gonna be like a rotating servo, or like a spinning servo, or perhaps a helicopter? A helicopter servo might do fine. So I feel like what we're gonna want is, if we use the helicopter servo, we're probably gonna want something like pipe pieces sticking out. And these pipe pieces need to go far enough. Where's this? Or so we probably want these to be more centered. So if our seat hitbox is there, but we also have this on the bottom, which is kind of necessary. So this is like the center of our seat hitbox. We could get away with right there. Or maybe we have these be on the back there. That goes there. So now we're more of a square hitbox. And then this is a little bit more centered now, I believe. All right, so I want this to be as compact of a wheel as possible. So if this, it looks like the furthest away from the center of rotation is the front of the seat. So it looks like if we have just a 1x4 tube here, and this is the inner circumference, then we should not collide with our center seat. We should have space. But I also need it to come back to center. So maybe this. All right, initial controls are not encouraging, but I almost feel like I'm too small for it to apply right now. I think I gotta start building this thing out a little bit more. All right, we have an unexpected effect here right now, where these gyro stabilizers seem to not be working. We have them on max strength. I got 2 of them, so they should keep everything upright. And then Badge. Oh, no, okay. It's kind of working. Whoa, why is it suddenly not work sometimes? You get the idea, right? Like, I feel like I have it hooked up right. I'm gonna keep adding to the build and hope that it works. This problem works itself out, because I feel like I'm doing it right. Helicopter servo is statically attached on its outer edge to the creation, and that outer edge is on a stabilizer, so it should keep it upright. And then the inner ring is attached to the spinning part. So like, you can see it working in concept right now until it doesn't work. Like, now it's not working anymore. I don't know what's going on with that right now, but let's just hope for the best, I guess. Okay, so we need the sword. Let me see how the swords are gonna go. We're probably gonna do like the curved version. I think that's gonna look the coolest. Yeah, and I think this one just definitely gives the best vibe. I don't know what size is the appropriate size quite yet. I think I'm just gonna stick to default size for now. All right, so now we got 4. Something is definitely wrong with this. Like, the turning's not gonna work if I don't stay upright in the middle. Why don't the stabilizers work? They work for a bit and then they don't work. It's like, it's getting close to being there. I don't know if it's the helicopter servos. Maybe these shouldn't be attached to the helicopter servos. I'm just gonna move these back, and we're gonna place a separate block there and hope for the best. No, that doesn't do it. All right, I'm gonna try something completely different. I am going to replace these with gyros. We're gonna use gyro steering to try to turn the ball, but we need to be attached to like a free bearing for that to work. So in order to do that, I'm gonna put a rotating servo that attaches to the default build and set the strength down to 0. All right. And now, oh, now I need to, hold on. I forgot to turn up the gyros. These gyros increase their speed. Oh, okay, that's not bad. It's definitely less noisy. All right, we still have weirdness going on in the middle though. It feels more stable. I am curious why the middle is not staying upright when there's clearly gyro stabilizers in there. You know what? Let me get rid of the gyro stabilizers just to see. All right, so see, now we're just free floating, which makes sense. What doesn't make sense is having gyro stabilizers in there and it not. Oh, now it kind of works. It's kind of working. It's not perfectly working, but it's kind of working. No, it's definitely not perfect. Hold on. What strength is this gyro on right now? Not enough. Whoa, look at my head. What's going on with my... Oh, I guess it's just the gyros doing weird stuff. Maybe I need some weight on this thing. You know what? This might actually work. I've had this work before. When in doubt, add a weight block. Let's put a weight lower center right there. You know what? This doesn't feel bad. That did help a lot, didn't it? Okay. So now we need better circle. We only have four prongs right now. So I definitely want to extend that. I also am debating on, should we add suspension? Because like, it would be kind of simple enough just to literally stick them right there. There is going to be one potential issue with doing the suspension this way. And that is when I add the intermediate prongs, they are going to not have their own independent suspension. All right, I think I got suspension on everything. Definitely way less bouncy now. Huge improvement already. I'm wondering if the suspension allows it to get too close to us though. We can also increase the stiffness a little bit. Let's go stiffness up to 1. Still looking good. Oh, we're getting like we get a little bit stuck when we turn right now. Hard to tell where that's coming from. It seems like it might just be the suspension grinding a little bit. Yeah, I do feel like the suspension is kind of grinding with this just a little bit. All right, so what I've done is a little bit of engineering. I have moved the suspension away by a block. Ooh, this is still kind of close, but the pipe pieces are better than these. I extended these out with pipe pieces to leave some more room. Now the suspension is kind of on the outside, and it should still work. Yeah, the suspension still works. But I'm hoping now we don't get stuck, and it looks like we no longer get stuck. And you know what? It's actually kind of looking still pretty cool. I think I'm happy with that right now. Look like I'm headbanging. Yeah. Yeah, he's really enjoying this. Okay, all right. We need to add more swords. Slow down. Look how fast I'm going. I can't even enter the build mode. I'm vibrating at such a speed. All right, so now we need additional swordage, which means hinge. Now, I don't know if this is gonna work, but if I have this, should be 45 degrees. I feel like one hinge is not gonna be enough, but let's get ourselves a NOR gate to turn this on by default. Yeah, see, it's closer to one side than the other. But if I extend it by a block, is that appropriate? Is that gonna work? All right, so now it's closer to the other one. So there's no real center spot that works for this, is there? Unless, do I add even more? Because what if we do another one after that one? So then these would have to be sets of 30 degrees. I think I need to extend my swords by like a single block for this to work, which actually isn't too bad. There's literally another pipe piece that does exactly that. But before I commit to the whole build, let's try to make sure that this actually is working as intended. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. All right, so now I gotta just copy that to the rest. All right, it's starting to work. And when I go into build mode, there's a very, very common shape in these build things. Just ignore that, because it just happens a lot when you're doing spiral circular things in a 90-degree build grid, okay? It's unavoidable sometimes. But in context, it works, okay? So this is starting to look amazing, and it's already functional. This actually looks so cool. Like, it's going so fast, it's giving like the Marquet effect kind of illusion. It just looks like it's strobing. Okay, this is really cool. All right. Now we're just gonna make it look cooler. All right, you know what? For the sake of avoiding the comments, I've made a new build mode shape that still, I think, keeps it pretty much the same. There's just a lot more space. There's just some extra spaces. It's not like as symmetrical in a way. All right, so this is looking really good so far, and it steers. See, the thing with this is now it's very unevenly distributing the load to the suspension. It was evenly distributed in quarters, which would distribute the suspension, but now it is kind of like half and half, so it's not quite as symmetrical, but as far as the suspension load goes. But it works. It works just fine nonetheless. All right, can we... All right, now I just need to figure out... Can I make this thing look cooler? Hopefully. Kind of thinking of adding spikes on the side too. Could be cool. Which one should we should probably use a symmetrical one like this. I mean, that kind of works. All right, I need to adjust some sensitivities though. This steering gyro is way too sensitive. Let's go with like 4. And then the steering, we do lean. All right, I feel like we're too, I need to just turn way slower. All right, that actually looks pretty cool. Whoa. What? Why does it why is it steering me that way right now? So I'm pressing D. Now I'm letting go. I'm not pressing anything other than go right forward right now. That's a little weird, isn't it? You know what? I feel like maybe the steering hinges could use a little bit of a strength decrease. Let's bring them down to like 20. Because then they'll have like suspension in those too. That actually does seem to help a little bit. Oh, why are we going sideways? That's weird. There's some weird physics changes happening. Why is it turning itself? I can't unsteer now. It does so well on like the first. All right, I guess I have to increase the strength of this gyro a little bit more. When it's not enough, it doesn't fight its own rotation. All right, let me turn it back up to where it's like too powerful, like 7. All right, yeah, now it's definitely stable. Oh, now it's kind of turning itself again. Interesting. We are damaging ourselves, which I don't like. I mean, once it's going straight, it's great. You know, I'm gonna get rid of the lean function that I tried to build into it. I feel like it might be hurting me. Okay. Ooh. Oh, wow. Okay. Apparently not. That's interesting that the gyro that keeps me upright seems to not be doing very well, and it is on max. Let me duplicate it. Okay, I'm really actually surprised. The leaning actually did stabilize a lot. So maybe I'll actually just... What if I have that in there, but I don't have the controls on it? Okay. I don't like how much I'm damaging myself. That is a problem. Let me try something here. I'm gonna try to create like friction pad feet to help out with this. All right, so this is the plan you see there. So if I go onto that part, I'm hoping that the friction pads are going to be more damage resilient, but also give us more speed and less slippage. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Nope. Okay. We're like so close to something really cool. I might have to go back to the more radially symmetrical shape. I just think it's going to distribute the load more evenly. And I think that's just a reality of super basic geometry when it comes to working with circles that we just have to accept in this game sometimes. It happens more commonly than you think, especially building Beyblades. All right, how's this feeling? Oh, you know what I need now? It's actually it's the steering hinge strength needs to go up again. Okay, all right, we're on to something. There's a strange issue of not being able to stay upright, which I'm surprised because usually the gyro stabilizers are pretty good at that. Because our seat is staying upright. I'm surprised we're shaking still. I guess it's because technically these gyro stabilizers are applying a force not to the whole build as much as I think it's just separating this interior build as it's its own thing, since it's separated from the wheel by these rotating servos. So it's actually, usually you get shaky when you're not heavy enough. So maybe I should make myself a little bit heavier. All right, but then we still have that problem. It corrects us once we stop spinning. Because see, when we're spinning, it's like we're having a lot of trouble. It's keeping us upright. And then when we stop spinning, like obviously the servos are working. I just need them to keep working. All right, I've added another servo. It seems to at least help. Maybe we're spinning. I think we're spinning too fast. I think this is unnecessary. I think we need to spin to the point where we're not spinning out. Let's go with half strength on these. Like, see, this is healthy. This is fine. And it seems to be a little bit more stable. All right, we're a little bit bouncy. Let's try maybe like dampen a little bit. Put the stiffness down by a quarter. Definitely less bouncy. That helped. This is crazy. Oh yeah, I gotta also apply the this wheel cap to the other side. Oh, I got another idea. Oh, no, dang. Oh, this would have been a good idea. What I wanted to do was add smaller ones, like on the inside, but these take up a 2x2 space, and I only have like this 1x1 space. Maybe. I maybe could. I'm gonna try something here. So if I open that up, I can then take another set of these, stick them here. But then what I want to do is make these ones like tiny. And then maybe do we have a different skin on these ones? But then we're only gonna have 4 if if I do this, but maybe that's okay. Structure is too complex. I forgot that these are 20 complexity each. Okay, so, well, that answers that question for me. I totally forgot how complex these things were. I've just been going so overboard right now. All right, I'm already, wow, I do not have room. I'm already at 670 complexity. I had no idea. All right, well, let's copy this over. Oh, you know what? I kind of like the recessed look of this instead of it sticking out like that. I think I'm going to do that over here as well, because these are all attached anyway. This is actually working pretty well now. All right, I'm going to add what I can for a little bit of design for the interior part of it. Don't have a lot of space to work with in there, but it'll be something. All right, and I kind of feel like I should paint the whole thing up like black to make everything else stand out. Oh, the red stands out so much better when the rest of it is black. This is so cool looking. This is actually real. All right, we have to destroy some stuff with it. I think I'm happy with how it functions now. We definitely got to destroy some stuff with this thing. All right, let's start basic with, we got this cube here, but this is my flying cube. We're just gonna have it be a ground cube. Oh, it's actually smaller than I expected it to be compared to this thing. This thing's pretty big. Oh, wait. I should have tested out. What about sizes? Select all these. We go big. You know what? Big actually looks fine enough for me. I like the big size too. All right, let's see what happens. I mean, we can't go through it because we're a lot bigger than the hitbox of the swords. That is one thing I was thinking about. I think it looks appropriate. Like, this looks the coolest. But if I had a sword and I was facing them all sideways like this, I think this would give us the most hitbox coverage. Because I think that, I don't know exactly how the hitbox works with these. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know if it's just a straight out cylinder of 2x2 extending from these, or if it is actually more following the shape of the swords themselves. But I was wondering if like turning them sideways would have been a better functional option, but I think aesthetically it's just not going to quite be as good. All right, so the cube obviously worked as expected. I think we need a vehicle that's more relatable though, so we can actually really get a feel for the destruction, and I think a car is a good way to do that. Oh, this thing looks so cool. All right, here it goes. Didn't stand a chance. All right, I want to do that again. I turned because I was trying not to hit it with my physical ball, but I kinda want to just roll over it and see what happens too. Okay, here it goes. Okay, that was satisfying. That was so worth it. We literally severed it in half. Look at that. There's the front. There's the back. Like, the wheels are still on it and everything. That was so good. That I couldn't have asked for a better interaction with a creation than that one right there. Oh. Actually, this creation might be too big. But trailer truck. I used this one for the energy wall, the energy sword barrier. But it was a little too complex for destruction, so the game couldn't really handle it. But let's see what happens if I do it with this. That is so cool. Just right through, cutting it in half. This thing is working exactly as I hoped it would work. All right, let's go head on to it and see what happens. Oh, okay, rolling over it is actually pretty satisfying too. This thing is so good. There's more left. Yeah, this is awesome. All right, I am very, very happy with how that turned out. Oh, you know what? I have my, this is the climbing wall I built for my climber. Let's see what happens if I roll through this. There we go. Okay, I can't really quite fit through until I bounce up against it a little bit. This one's less satisfying. This is not quite as satisfying. Yeah, because we just end up colliding on our sides. Hey, we disconnected it. Oh, if it falls over flat, it could be satisfying though. Yes. Oh, it broke. Okay, well, I thought I was just gonna make a trail right through it, you know? But you know what? Nothing's stopping me from just giving it a flipperoo. All right, here we go. I mean, I don't know what I expected, but that was pretty much it. It literally does what you would expect. This thing works exactly as I expected it to work. And it's awesome. All right, but of course the question has to be asked, what happens if it rolls into itself? All right, here we go. Okay, it is very destructive. It is very, I'm actually surprised how well this is still working. That's actually pretty cool. It's got that one leg on the opposite side that's totally carrying it through. That's pretty funny. All right, well, there it is. Let me know what you guys think. It's everything I dreamed it would be. If you guys enjoyed this, leave some suggestions for more stuff you'll enjoy down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, you'll probably enjoy some more you can find right here on the end screen. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.